What's going on, guys? We are live. This is Formula 7 realistic performance, driver salaries, team budgets, and all rolled into one to buddy you up for a Wednesday night at 7 PM. I'm just having a look why Undertaker Dylan has come out on intermediate tyres for some reason, which is absolutely against the law here, against the rules. With a driver that only voted to race a few minutes before the lobby started and then comes out on intermediates. Alright, we will have a look into that. So I do apologise about the lobby issues. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know why people couldn't get in, but we are here now, and we're going to go racing. This is Q1, remember it is full qualifying. Pera, the other Alfa Romeo, is just starting his lap now. Dennis is not in yet, no. So, just coming around turn 8. And down towards turn 9 and 10. Dennis has joined. I hope he's in. I really hope he's in. Through turn 10 goes Pera. And then down towards 11 he's left again. He can get in the lobby, but he just can't pick anything or seat or anything. He just disconnects. Pera going down towards turn 12 and 13 at the Audi S's. And the Alfa Romeo driver putting on a display in Q1. Only 2 drivers in Q1 currently will be eliminated. I know, Dennis, I don't know what happened, mate. I even tried setting it up with Maxi, who's also a Belgian, so I just don't know why that is. Pera over 1:10.2 goes fastest. It is full qualifying. Super Trooper in the Haas is also on a lap coming round turn 9. Dennis is joining. I've sent you quite a few invites, Dennis. Let's just see if we can try and get you in. Try restarting. Try doing a few things. Try turning the PlayStation off or whatever. Try turning it back on. So, Super Turbo coming through the Audi S's at 12 and 13. And then down towards turn 14. Very tricky part of the circuit when you're coming around here. Yeah. Completely my fault why we've got a few missing drivers, as obviously I didn't post the attendance till this morning. What is going on? Why is my stream doing that? Just bear with me. Why is my stream doing that? Have I got something downloading? One second. Dennis is in. Let's go. It says Logan Sargent on my screen, but he's in. Why is Logan Sargent out on track? Right. We should have sorted the connection problems out. One of the kids was downloading the new update for Call of Duty. He's paused it. So we should all be good now. Even if I'm on a LAN cable like I am, if any of the kids are downloading like a big game, it just crashes the stream. But hey, it is what it is. Can't go on board with Logan Sargent yet, but Kim has set a lap, a 1:11.3 behind his teammate. Maxi Block in the Scuderia went fastest with a 1:09.8. Let's go, Dennis. I don't know why it says Logan Sargent in the lobby. Maybe that's just me, it'll sort itself out. So, all the drivers still in the pit lane, apart from Logan Sargent. I think it's Zetu. It is Zetu, I don't know why it says Sargent. So we are on board with Zetu in the AlphaTauri. And let's see what he can do. Down towards turn 1 we go. And let's go, Sargent. In towards turn 1 and 2. There's the other AlphaTauri just behind him. Did he help him out a little bit? In towards the hairpin at turn 4. And then up towards turn 5 and 6 for the number 97 driver. And Zetu coming through sector 1. That was a quick sector for the AlphaTauri. And in towards turn 9. Through turn 10 and then down towards 11. And then through the DRS straight here in Netherlands under the cloudy skies. It says purple again, but we can't take that. Hopefully they'll sort that for next season, for the next game coming out in a few weeks. I have been working on the calendar for season 9 as well, so we just season 8, I think season 8, season 9, one of them. I'll just need to discuss with the team and everything. But here we go, Zetu to the line. The AlphaTauri goes P4 and in front of one of the Haas drivers. Royke Pens at his home Grand Prix in the Aston Martin already has a win under his belt this season, unbelievably. Fanfinus also at his home Grand Prix in the other AlphaTauri. We'll go on board with him, let's see what he can do. Fanfinus, the other driver's just moving out of the way, great stuff by them. And Fanfinus in the AlphaTauri. Stream is still a little bit laggy, but it should be alright in a minute, so don't worry. So Fanfinus coming down towards turn 11 at Vodafone Bosch. And DRS enabled for the AlphaTauri driver, the number 5 car of Fanfinus, down towards the Audi S's at turn 12 and 13. Putting it all on the line in Q1. 3 drivers will be eliminated. Fanfinus bidding not to be one of them at his home Grand Prix. Round turn 15 we go, and then down the DRS straight for the sister car of the Red Bull, the AlphaTauri. Down the pit straight we go. His home Grand Prix. Fanfinus goes up to P2. What a lap from him. Dennis, the Belgian driver, just coming through sector 2 at the moment. Then you've got Royke Pens in the Aston Martin just coming round turn 8. No, turn 10, sorry. And the Red Bull just moving out of the way. Down towards the Audi S's at 12 and 13 for the Aston Martin. A lot of drivers at the home Grand Prix here tonight. Here comes Royke Pens out of turn 14 and 15. And just foot to the floor now. Pedal to the metal for the Aston Martin. And P2. 1/10 quicker than the AlphaTauri of Fanfinus. What about Dennis in the Ferrari? He's going to be next. Dennis, the Belgian, goes provisional pole. I don't know why I'm saying that, because it's Q1, goes fastest by 0.6 of a second. Here comes Panda now. He's already gone purple, sector 1. We do have the other Aston Martin of Lewis just about to start his flying lap. And then we have the Alfa Romeo. I think that might be Undertaker Dylan finally out on tyres that are not intermediates. He's coming down towards the line, and the Scotsman will go P7. With a 1:10.6. The AlphaTauri car is coming through as well. I think that might be Zetu going into the pit lane. And then we've got Niels Hendrick in the Mercedes coming around turn 14. It's his home Grand Prix as well. Senjo to the line in P16, just starting his flying lap, but we go back on board with Niels Hendrick in the Mercedes. Down to the line he goes, and Niels Hendrick goes P2, just in front of Maxi Block. The Dutchies look like they're on fire. Here comes Panda in the Red Bull, the championship leader, down towards the line. He goes 108.6. So, Senjo, the Norwegian, in the McLaren. Henke, who got pole position in the McLaren last weekend, and B-Right goes up to P2 at 108.9. So the two Red Bulls are in the 108s, and they look rapid here this evening. Henke got pole position in that McLaren last week. Let's see what he can do, but we're on board with the Norwegian of Senjo. What about Lewis? He's going to be next. The British driver down to the line. He goes. Here comes the Aston P5 for Lewis W. Suvatrubo is back out as well, the fake Dutchie. And here comes Merckx in the Williams. Just moving out the way of the traffic. We've got Senjo and Henke. Senjo will be to the line first as he comes out of turn 15. And the Papaya comes to the line and he goes P4 just behind the Ferrari of Dennis. Then Merckx in the Williams just coming down to the Audi S's at turn 12 and 13. And Henke just coming through sector 2. We go on board with the Williams of UFRL Merckx. Down towards turn 14 and 15 we go. What can the Williams do? He's bidding to get through to Q2, but he's got to really put it on the line. And that's exactly what he's doing. It's a 1:10.2 and it's P12, and currently he is safe. Henke in the McLaren is going to be next. His teammate in P4. Henke goes P3. A 109.0 for the McLaren. Tyres backs out in the Alpine. Maybe just made a slight mistake. We know he's a season 6 world champion in the gold division, and Dennis calls it a day and says that's enough from me in Q1 with 6 minutes to go. But the talking point is at the back as we go on board with Kim. So we are on board with Kim, the South Korean driver in the Haas, trying to get through to Q2. He's currently in P17. All the drivers in front of him still in the pit lane, waiting to go for that last attempt to get into the second stage of this qualifying session. Maxi Block retires. He's in P9. He says that is enough to get me through. And a driver that was Tyres that went up to P10 in the Alpine. So at the moment, he's in P10 at his home Grand Prix with 4 minutes to go. Kim in the Haas is going to be next to the line. Niels Hendrick, his home Grand Prix, calls it a day in Q1. And Kim goes P17. He did improve, but it is not enough to get him out of the bottom 3 at the moment. Undertaker Dylan is coming back out in the Alfa Romeo. Doesn't have a setup, and he's absolutely feeling the heat now in Q1. Lewis retires. Merckx is still in the pit lane. Suvatrubo is the driver at risk, but he's on his way back out. The San Marino driver, who resides from the Netherlands, is on his way back out in the Haas. Pera, the Greek driver in P13 in the Alfa Romeo, still in the garage and just watches on. What can Kim do? Can he go again? Has he got time? I do not know. Zeta in the Alfa Tauri still in the pit lane. Just so you know, Park Fermi isn't on. Why would Park Fermi not be on? That's strange. Like, when you set... I don't know why Park Fermi would not be on. Does that mean the drivers can change their setups? so frustrating. You shouldn't be able to change your setup. I don't know why Peformance is on. I didn't even know you could turn... Well, I did know you could turn it off, but I just thought it was automatically on when you set the lobby up. Undertaker Dylan in the Alfa Romeo. Undertaker Dylan coming through Sector 1 to the end of Sector 1 and the start of Sector 2 for the Alfa Romeo driver. The Scotsman has got to do something, and he should be able to put a setup on now because Peformance is off. So Undertaker Dylan coming around at turn 10 and down towards turn 11. He will get that DRS in a second. 2 minutes to go here in Q1. The Alfa Romeo driver, the man from Scotland in the Alfa Romeo, going down towards the Audi S's at turn 12 and 13. Undertaker Dylan comes out of turn 13, just feathering on that throttle. Down towards turn 14 we go. Just easing around, using that left-hand side curve to his advantage. Peformance and Royker calls it a day, both at the home Grand Prix. Undertaker Dylan down the pit straight to the line. The Alfa Romeo stays P16. He will not be going through. Super Turbo, the man that resides from the Netherlands, will try and get through. He's got Zetu going for a lap. Kim, Undertaker Dylan, Super Turbo all at risk of going out in Q1. Undertaker Dylan can do no more. I don't think Kim can either, so it is literally just on Zetu. Here comes Super Turbo. He goes up to P11. What a lap. That pushes Merckx down to the driver at risk. The Williams is going to hope that Zetu does not improve. We go on board with the AlphaTauri driver. The man from Finland is bidding to get into Q2 with the AlphaTauri car. The number 97 driver coming through turn 2 and 3 now. Kim is out. There's nothing more he can do. And we'll start P17 at best in this Netherlands Grand Prix. The AlphaTauri of Zetu currently in P18. Can he improve? He needs to find around a second to get through here. He is currently 2 tenths up as he comes round turn 8. He is improving. He needs to find even more here. He's putting it all on the line. Zetu throwing that AlphaTauri car around the chicane at turn 10 and down towards 11. The DRS will kick in a second. DRS enabled. ERS is on. And here comes Zetu down towards the Audi S's at turn 12 and 13 with that rear wing open. Is he going to be able to do it? What a drive this will be if he gets into Q2. Zetu coming round turn 14 and 15 now. Foot down, pedal to the metal we go. Putting it all on the line. Here comes Zetu using that Haas as a little bit of slipstream, and Zetu P17 for the man from Finland, and Merckx is safe. So the big talking point there is the reserve driver of Pera out qualifying his full-time teammate of Undertaker Dylan, who goes out with a 1:10.5, so definitely struggling here at this circuit. And Undertaker Dylan goes out in P16, Zetu in the AlphaTauri in P17, and Kim De-Boom, the South Korean, going out in P18, just not able to find that speed in the Haas car. Remember, it is realistic performance. Pando with a 108.6, the 2 Red Bulls dominating the top. But I cannot wait to see what Q2 brings. So Merckx in the Williams, that is a cracking result for him to get into Q2. So at the end of Q1 here in the Netherlands, it is the Norwegian driver of Panda in the Red Bull who is your fastest driver on track. His teammate is B. Wright, the 3-time world champion. Is the second fastest driver. Henke in the McLaren in P3, Dennis in the Ferrari in P4, and Senjo in the other McLaren in P5. We have a lot of Dutch drivers on track tonight as well. Kim De-Boom in the Haas will start in P18. He goes out in Q1. Zetu in the AlphaTauri, the man from Finland, goes out in P17. And Undertaker Dylan, the man from Scotland in the Alfa Romeo, goes out in P16. Merckx just scraping through by 0.3 of a second. But you look at the times with the AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo and Williams all 1.5 seconds off the Red Bull time, so it was extremely close to who was going to go out there, but brilliantly well done by some of these drivers. B. Right, let's go. Currently on a 24-month streak. That is exactly 2 years, so thank you so much, Ben. It has been an incredible journey that we've been on here at Formula 7 Racing, and to have subscribed for 2 years in a row and 29 months in total. That is amazing. Thank you so much. What a milestone. We are into Q2 here now in the Netherlands. You know, in 29 months, we've seen us go from just a little racing league, an esports league, to one of the biggest leagues online. And we're still growing. We're still continuing to grow. We've got an amazing community. A lot of fantastic drivers. We've seen drivers grow. We've seen drivers go from bronze to gold. We've seen drivers, you know, come of age. It's just an amazing community, and we've seen people retire as phenomenal drivers as well. So yeah, we've seen it all, and we'll continue to see it all as well. Sam the man, how you doing, mate? So, a few of the drivers already coming out on track. The Red Bull of Panda will be first. No messing about in Q2 from the man from Norway. So, Panda in the Red Bull will be the first driver in this second stint of qualifying to set a lap. And Sam the man is the man from USA, the Freedom Eagle driver. So, on board with Panda, you are about to see something special here. Let's ride on board for it. And I will try and do my best to commentate on an extraordinary driver. So, down towards the line for his flying lap here in Q2. Down towards turn 1 at the right-handed hairpin, and then coming at you very quickly is turn 2 and 3. Over the curb at 3, and then down in towards the hairpin at turn 4. Just free flowing through there, using that curve to the right-hand side to help him through turn 5 and 6. Look how tight he is to the curb, but just not even touching them ones. In towards turn 7 and 8 we go for the Red Bull driver. Look at that, it's just so clean and crisp. Through turn 8 and then down towards turn 9 for the Red Bull driver. And to the end of sector 2, a slight slip with the rears there for the Red Bull driver. Coming out of turn 11, down the DRS straight. The rear wing is open for the Red Bull into the Audi S's at turn 12 and 13. Nice and tight to the curb, and then down towards the final 2 right-handers. That is turn 14 and 15. The Oracle Red Bull driver, the Norwegian of Panda, coming out of turn 15, down the DRS straight, down the pit straight, to the line we go, and Panda with a 108.7. Fantastic lap from Panda that was. The Mercedes of Nick comes to the line. He's just starting his flying lap. Then we've got the Haas of Super Turbo, who will come down and goes P2 of a 110.5. Then comes the Mercedes of Niels Hendrick to start his flying lap. Henke the McLaren is on a lap. Senjo just about to start his. Pera in the Alfa Romeo goes into P3 after out-qualifying his teammate. Then we've got Merckx in the Williams. He will be next. I think there's a Ferrari actually. That is Dennis, who's just about to start his lap. So it will be Merckx in the Williams that will be next to the line to set his lap here in Q2. And Merckx has been a breath of fresh air in that Williams team. He really has. Merckx to the line, a 127.8. I'm pretty sure he'll go quicker than that. Henke, here comes the pole sitter from last week. Goes up to P2, a 109.5 from the McLaren. And it's going to be very hard to compete with them Red Bulls this evening because there's so many long straights. But I'm sure some of the drivers will do their best to not give them an easy ride. Here comes TTL Nick to the line, goes P2, a 109.4 for the Dutchman. His teammate of Niels Hendrick will be next. He's also from the Netherlands. I think we've got 6 Dutch drivers on the grid tonight. Niels Hendrick to the line, and he goes P4, a 109.7, 3 tenths slower than his teammate. B-Right just getting ready, I think, to start his flying lap, just moving out of the way of the Ferrari of Dennis, who's coming in. Merckx, there's a few drivers on out laps. I think Dennis is on a lap. Here comes the Belgian driver down towards the line. He goes, Dennis goes P2, A 108.9. First time the Ferraris have hit the 108s. There is no race next week, Fair Jack. It's a break next week, but it's also our F7/TTL event next Wednesday. So round 1 is on Wednesday at 6:30. 1 second, guys, I'm lagging really bad again. Oh, Jesus. I'm just checking if it might just be Dennis. Yeah, it is. It's every time I'm on board with Dennis, I think. Yeah, so we've got round 1 of the F7 and TTL event next Wednesday, and then round 2 next Friday, and then I'll release the final date for the drivers. Be right in the Red Bull. It's just coming down towards turn 14. Remember, if you do want to be a part of the F7 TTL event, just come and join. There is 2 seats for Wednesday and 2 seats for Friday left. Be right to the line. Be right goes P3, a 109.2 for the Red Bull driver, slower than his time in Q1. Maxibot just starting his flying lap in the Red Bull. Lewis W, I think that was it, just came through. No, it wasn't. It was somebody else. I can't remember who that was. Lewis W is just weaving, warming up them tyres. Fanfitness, the other Dutch driver in the Alpha Tauri, coming out of turn 15. And down to the line, and Fanfitness goes up to P9. Currently that would be enough to get through, but there is still a Ferrari on track about to set a lap time. Yeah, remember the TTL F7 event, the winner will receive £20 either through PayPal or a gift card. It will not be sent to a bank account, just to make that clear. So it'll be either a gift card or or PayPal, that's fine. And also £10 for the driver that finishes 2nd and 3rd. Remember, this is a free event. It's a completely free event for any driver to join, and it's just a little bit of competitive fun to add on to it. But we've got huge events coming up. We've got the podcast starting again next month with new guests every week. But we're going to do things a little bit differently to what we did last time. And with the F7 podcast, we're going to be getting a lot of our own drivers and, you know, people who are in the F7 community onto the podcast each week as well. So we're not just going to be chasing after F1 streamers, although we've had a lot of interest from a few F1 streamers who want to be on the podcast. And although that will be great, and we will still be doing that, the main focus for Formula 7 is to make sure that we can interview people who are actually part of the community and part of the esports scene as well, and be able to get to know one another as well. So yeah, we're going to be getting new guests on the F7 podcast every week. Well, we're looking at every fortnight realistically, so we get a week of build up and then a week of preparation. So we've got that coming up. We've got the event next Wednesday and Friday, and then the final to that event at the end of the month. And then we've got another huge event that I've not yet announced, but we've got that in the pipeline. And then we've got obviously season 9 to prepare for. The calendar's in the middle of being set up, and you know, then we've got to look at trying to get all the drivers in the seats for the next season, changing of the roles. So there's a lot going on this year. All while promoting the biggest esports league on TikTok, and you know, building a real special community with so many great drivers that we have on track. So yeah, it's going to be a big year for F7. So both the Aston Martin drivers go into the pit lane. Henke is on his way back out. Maybe worried a little bit about the time. You got to think but the problem is you've got Tyres that's coming back out on a lap, but from T's in P11 to Henke is still 7/10 of a second. Monaco, we've not had Monaco on the calendar for 2 seasons now, and we had it changed again this season, and I regretted it a little bit. I did regret changing it, although the week before Monaco we had an absolutely disastrous race, and we finished with like 7 drivers. But them races will happen. We've just got to take them on the chin and carry on. But yeah, we definitely need to have Monaco on the grid next season. Yeah, it's been a real incredible year, and I can't thank the drivers enough. We sort of just blown up a little bit as well, haven't we? Like, we literally haven't got enough seats for the drivers. But it doesn't really bother me, and it doesn't bother the team as well, as long as we've got our community and the drivers that have spent a lot of time here and invested a lot of their driving hours with us. So Henke is coming through, Tyres is on a lap behind him. The McLaren coming through turn 14 and 15, a little bit wide there from the Norwegian driver. Out of turn 15, we go down the pit straight for the Papaya. To the line goes P4, a 109.3. Here comes Tees in the Alpine. Is he improving? He is. He's nearly 3.5 tenths up as he comes down the DRS straight out of turn 13. And down, sorry, not out of turn 13, it was out of turn 11. Now he comes out of turn 13 at the Audi S. His Pera is out. Pera has crashed it at turn 4. So the Alfa Romeo driver will be out in Q2. Here comes the Alpine of Tees. And into the pit lane he goes. So did he make a mistake? So Super Turbo is on his way back out. So that's one less driver that Turbo and Merckx has to contend with. Fanfre's currently in P12, needs to find out a little bit more if he wants to get into Q3. 3 minutes of this second qualifying session remaining here in Zandvoort. We are on board with the Haas driver of Super Turbo down towards turn 1. You use so much ERS even before you start your lap. And the thing is as well, is in the race it's so hard to build back up. You've got to be really careful when deploying it. Pre-race interviews, I don't know why nobody said that yet, but we used to do it all the time in realistic. Not pre-race, but mid-race, like only with team bosses though. So team bosses would come in during the race and we would interview them. We sort of laid off it a little bit in this season, but once we expand the team and everything next season, I'm sure we'll start bringing a few of these things back. It's taking it a very time consuming. Super Turbo coming out of turn 14 and 15 for the Haas driver. Can the San Marino driver get into Q3? The Haas to the line goes P11 and he just misses out. And Royke Pens is safe for another lap, but Tees is back out, so is Fanfre's, both the Dutch drivers. And it is Royks in the Aston Martin, who is also a Dutch driver, with Niels Hendrik, who is also a Dutch driver, all at risk. It is just Dutch mania here in Zandvoort. It's incredible. Yeah, I remember when everybody, all the team bosses used to love coming in for interviews, and I used to enjoy getting an insight onto, you know, the strategies and things like that. But I'm sure we'll get it back. We've got a lot. We're just doing so much at the moment. Yeah, so Super Turbo pulling over to the side. He will go out in Q2. It was a great attempt from him though. But here comes Fanfre's in the Alpha Tauri. Surely not. Let's see what he can do. Can he get through to Q3? It will be tremendous if he does. Lewis is on an out lap, just about to start his flying lap. Niels Hendrik in the Mercedes on his last flyer. Tees in the Alpine. Fanfre's is improving, the Alpha Tauri driver. He's improving enough to go in front of Tyres, but that is it at the moment. He needs to find an extraordinary sector 3. down to the Audi S's, and he's nearly 2.5 tenths up. That would put him in front of Tees. If he can carry on improving, could he even reach Royks in the Aston Martin? Fanfness, the man from the Netherlands, in the Alpha Tauri. The checkered flag has been waved here in Q2. Fanfness coming down towards the line. Fanfness, P12. A 1099 did go in front of tyres, but could not find anything more. Niels Hendrick in the Mercedes, he is definitely at risk, but there's only T's and Mercs to go, so I think he might actually be safe unless Royks improves. Here comes Niels Hendrick, goes up to P8, moves the Aston Martins into P9 and 10. It is going to be Lewis to the line first, but here comes Tees. Tees goes up to P9 in the Alpine. That pushes Royks down. Lewis W is coming to the line. Can he improve? He goes up to P5. What a lap from him. Now Tees is the driver at risk, and it's Royker Benz who is improving. I think he's done just enough to escape, and he has. Niels Hendrick just makes it through, but that was a great attempt from the Alpine driver of Tees, but it was just not his qualifying session, and he goes out in Q2, but extremely close. Yeah, Dennis, just see how you get on, mate, because I've noticed every time I'm on board with you, you are freezing a little bit, but it's only you that is freezing when I'm on board, so just see if you can soar it. Don't just retire, mate, because I really don't want you to miss out on points tonight. So the Alpine of Tees goes out in Q2. We are going on to the business end of qualifying. Panda in the Red Bull is the quickest driver on track for Q1 and Q2. Dennis in the Ferrari in P2, B-Wright in the Red Bull in P3, Maxi Bock in the Ferrari in P4. The two Red Bulls, two Ferraris split in four ways. Lewis in the Aston Martin in P5. But the bottom five that do go out is the Greek driver of Pera in the Alfa Romeo that goes out in P15 here in Q2. Merckx, the British driver in the Williams, goes out in P14. It's the Dutchman and his home Grand Prix in the Alpha Tauri that goes out in P13. Then it's the San Marino driver who resides in the Netherlands in the Haas that goes out in P12. And then it's the other Dutchman of Thijs in the Alpine that goes out in P11. The Dutchman of Niels Hendrick in the Mercedes just scrapes through in P10.
Ever heard singing coming from the Alpine garage? Some say that's legendary mechanic Curly Wainwright. If you didn't know, the reason the Dutch wear orange stems from the Dutch royal family. Unrelated to the fruit, William of Orange led a revolution that created the independent Netherlands. Since then, the colour has become a symbol of national pride and is featured on every national sports team.
So here we are now in Q3, 12 minutes to determine who will start on the front row of this grid here in Zandvoort. This is the exciting bit. Cheers, Chubo, let's go. So, the first driver out on track is the Ferrari of Dennis. Let's just go on board with him. Oh yeah, I can see why his screen's freezing, because his whole car is freezing on track for us. Let's just, oh yeah, look at that. If that is doing that to him whilst he's on track, I can imagine why he's struggling yet. Look at that. Imagine trying to set a lap with that. Yeah, I feel for Dennis here because he's contending for the championship. So, Lewis in the Aston Martin. I tell you what, when I go on about drivers who have improved and really dug their heels down and expressed themselves here at Formula 7 and grown as a driver, Lewis always is one of them drivers that comes to mind for me. Because he wasn't the quickest when he joined, and now he competes up there in the gold division with the fastest drivers this league has to offer. And when I say fastest drivers, some of the drivers are the fastest in the world. We're talking top 10s, time trials, and he's just consistently as well. And Lewis is right there battling with them every week, and it wasn't always the case, so it's amazing to see. We will stay on board with Lewis for his flying lap in Q3. So, Lewis W down to turn 1 goes the British driver, nice and tight to the curb. Down towards turn 2 and 3. And just moving out to the left hand side before he hits the hairpin at turn 4. And then feathers the throttle coming out of there. And he's got a little bit of traffic in front of him as he goes round towards turn 8. Oh, it's the Red Bull. Oh, it's Panda. Oh, Panda's completely blocked the Aston Martin. Oh, that's going to be a big penalty for Panda. I feel for him. Panda just did not know he was coming. But Lewis can't go again now. He's going to have to pit, and that is a ruined set of tyres. Because you cannot build up your ERS around here. You just can't do it. So that is it for Lewis. TTL Nick, the Ferrari just moving out the way. And goes purple sector 1 for the Mercedes driver. And Lewis W does come through with a 1:11.1. I think he was on for a brilliant lap as well. Trubo, why are you upsetting me? What have I done? TTL Nick coming down towards the line. Henke, I think that's Senjo just about to start his flying lap. It is. We are on board with TTL Nick. I think Roix is going to be first. He is at his own Grand Prix. Out of turn 15 we go for the Aston Martin driver. Into the pit lane he goes. What about TTL Nick? Down to the line goes the Mercedes. And it's a 1:08.8. And the Mercedes, for the first time this evening, is into the 1:08s. What a lap from TTL Nick. Maximov just about to start his flying lap. Dennis is trying to come through. He's still trying. And bless him, he's trying to give it everything. But them screen freezes, we can see them from here. And he is really struggling. Niels Hendrick coming in towards turn 15 now. DRS enabled. ERS is on for the Dutchman. Down the pit wall he goes. Here comes Niels Hendrick. Goes P2 at 1:09.7. But B-Right takes it right back off him. One for 1:08.9. But provisional pole is TTL Nick's at the moment. Here comes Panda in the Red Bull. Coming in towards turn 15. Panda to the line. And provisional pole goes the way of Norway to Panda with a 1:08.5. What a lap from him. Senjo comes through with a 1:09.1. Maximock in the Ferrari coming into the Audi S's. Trubo, I just mentioned every driver, mate. You've improved as well. So has every driver. It was just because I was on board with Lewis. And Lewis also came from bronze as well. All the drivers have improved massively. Maximock to the line in the Ferrari and goes up to P4. Just behind B-Right. So Maxi, I tell you what, that is some lap from TTL Nick in the Mercedes. Henke in the McLaren getting ready for his flyer. Yeah, Dennis, I really feel for you, mate. It's horrible to watch from here as well. I can see your screen freezes. Please let me know if the audio is okay. If I'm too loud, the gameplay is too loud, just let me know as well, guys. So we are on board with Henke. Let's see what he can do in Q3 with just under 6 minutes to go. Yeah, I know what you mean, Dennis. I don't know if I'd chance leaving, but then what do, you know? It's so unfortunate. Yeah, we'll just have to see during the race, mate. Yeah, no worries, mate. Thank you, Dennis. So, on board with Henke. Coming down towards turn 8. And then in towards turn 10. Out at turn 11 we go. DRS enabled for the McLaren driver, and into the Audi S's at turn 12 and 13 for the Papaya of Henke. He's got his countryman currently sitting on pole position with just under 5 minutes to go. Oh, no way, Ben. He's still using the same controller as well. Henke coming down the pit straight. Here comes the Norwegian. To the line goes P2. And the man who got pole position last week puts it on P2. And it's a front row lockout for Norway. TTL Nick is now in P3. All the other drivers in the pit lane getting ready to go. Wow, wow, wow. Red Bull, McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari. It is literally anybody's qualifying at this rate. Exclamation mark Discord in the chat, guys, if you want to come and be a part of Formula 7 Racing, one of the best and biggest esports racing leagues in Europe. We are the most followed F1 esports league on TikTok. In front of everybody, even F1 esports, their actual account only has 13,000 followers, and I'm not trying to be dead vain about it. I'm just so buzzing that a league like ours has been able to attract so many followers because of the drivers, because you're the content that we post, you know. And if it wasn't for you drivers, there would be no league. So yeah, a big massive thank you to you guys. So 3 minutes to go here in qualifying. To be honest, looking at the chat, Harvey, you and Banana would have got on like a house on fire as team bosses because you're both exactly the same. Awful team bosses. No, I'm just kidding. Like, just brutal. Right. Banana just signs every single driver and then gets rid of them after like 3 races. It's mad. And then he'll sign like 2 drivers, like you did at Red Bull, Harvey. He signs like 2 drivers for a brand new season, and then like 2 races into the season announces that a new driver's taking one of the seats the following season. Like, you've got 18 races left and you've already announced that somebody else is taking the seat. It's mad. Oh god. Yeah, you're both very, very similar team bosses. Right, all the drivers are on outlaps. Then it's like it's very, very bad. Yeah, he said if his screen continues to freeze in the race, he will retire. But this is it, 1.5 minutes to go here in qualifying to see who will start on pole position for the Netherlands Grand Prix in Zandvoort. It is going to be B. Wright, the adopted Dutchie, that goes into the Audi S. He's getting ready for his flyer. You can see Dennis literally lagging around the track as he goes around turn 15. He's not even been able to settle up. Right, we'll go on board with B. Wright. He will be the first driver. And down towards turn 1 goes the Red Bull. A minute to go here in Zandvoort. The Red Bull driver currently in P4 and on the second row of the grid. In towards turn 2 and 3 we go. Down towards the dip that is the hairpin at turn 4, the left-hander. And then back up the hill towards turn 5. The left-hander that is turn 6, and then 7 comes at you right at the top of the hill, and then you straight back down in towards turn 8. Down the straight we go. This is a tricky part of the circuit. Over the curb at 9 we go for the Red Bull driver. The Ferrari just moving out of the way in towards turn 10 and then down towards the left-hander at Vodafone Botch at turn 11. Then the DRS will kick in for the Oracle Red Bull driver of B Right. DRS enabled down towards the Audi S's at turn 12 and 13. The number 1 driver out of turn 13 we go. DRS enabled down towards turn 14 and 15. The 2 right-handers. The checkered flag has been waved here in Netherlands. B Right coming out of turn 15. Can he get pole position? We're about to find out. B Right goes P3. It is the Ferrari of Max Bot that goes P4. Panda is next. Panda improves a 108.0. That is unbelievable. Sendro goes up to P4 and out qualifies the Ferrari of Maxibot. Incredible. Nick and Niels Hendrick will be next. Niels Hendrick will come through first in the Mercedes. Down towards the line, they're currently P6 and P7. He stays P7. What about Nick? Goes up to P4, out qualifies the McLaren and the Ferrari. Lewis W to the line, stays P8. Roy Capenz is coming round, but it's going to be Henke that is hitting the line first. He's currently behind Panda in P2. Panda set a sensational lap, and Henke did improve, but not enough to take that pole position. Here comes Royks in the Aston Martin to the line, goes P8. Out qualifies his teammate by less than 0.03 of a second, but it is Panda in the Red Bull that takes pole position here in Zandvoort. So, Panda, it is an all-Norwegian locked-out front row here. Panda in the Red Bull will start on pole position. Henke and the McLaren will start alongside him in P2. On the second row, it's B Right in the Red Bull in P3 and TTL Nick in the Mercedes in P4. On the third row of the grid, it's Sendro in the McLaren in P5 and Maxi Block in the Ferrari in P6. On the fourth row of the grid, it's an all-Dutch lockout with Niels Hendrick in the Mercedes in P7 and Roy Capenz in the Aston Martin in P8. On the fifth row of the grid, it's the Aston Martin of Lewis W in P9 and Dennis, who was not able to get a lap in, will complete your top 10 in the Ferrari. Remember, there is no formation lap. So remember, no formation lap. We're going to go straight into the racing. I mean, everybody's messages, everybody who's chatting, who's arguing or anything, please all messages. So here we go. Round 14 here in the Netherlands. And it's a lights out and away we go. Henke got a good start, but can he track down the Red Bull going down into turn 1? Here comes Maxi Block on Sendro in towards turn 1. The Alpine of Tyres losing a position. Maxi Block is through on TTL Nick, but the wheel-to-wheel side-by-side as the Ferrari goes down into P4. Lets the Mercedes through. Niels Hendrick and Roy just scrapping it out, and that is Sendro. Sendro in the McLaren is round at turn 4 and has lost his car. Roy Capenz in the Aston Martin trying to cling on as Niels Hendrick attacks him from behind. Dennis in the Ferrari is there as well. Super Turbo has made up 2 places. Undertaker Dylan has made up 4. There's a huge crash. A huge crash here in Zandvoort. And it's caused absolute disaster. Wow, wow, wow. That was a huge collision. I don't know what caused it all, but there's no DNF, which is incredible. Senjo down 5 places now, still making up positions. Henke chasing down Panda. Tyres is through. Fanfurness, I think, has got damage. The Mercedes just clips the back of tyres. Oh, all 3 of these are Dutch drivers at the home Grand Prix as well. I don't know what's going on here. Pera is into the pit lane, the Alfa Romeo driver. And so is Undertaker Dylan. It's a double Alfa Romeo pit stop. So they must have both got damage. So Kim is up 7 places in the Haas. He's managed to stay out of trouble. Oh, Zetu rode the curb. The Alpha Tauri driver rode the curb. And it's so easily done around here. Henke is still within DRS range. B Wright is there. TTL Nick, Maxi Block and Reutz all in that DRS train for the lead of this Grand Prix. It was carnage at the start. In fact, I just need to save that. So, Panda leads to Henke in the McLaren. DRS is now enabled. 36 laps. We are 3 into it. We need to check what tyres the drivers have started on. Lewis has started on hards. That's a big call there. And most of the grid has started on mediums. And that's a yellow flag. That is an Alfa Romeo. And I really don't know. That looks like he's drove completely straight on into the wall there. Yeah, he was facing completely straight on into the wall. But unfortunately, it's not DNF that he wanted to. In fact, it's not even brought out a yellow a VSC or anything. So, Panda still leading. Lewis W on the back of the Haas driver of Super Turbo. Undertaker Dylan into the pit lane. Lewis W will have that DRS on Super Turbo. The Aston Martin into the slipstream of the Haas. And here comes Lewis W. He will go the long way round the Aston Martin side by side with the Haas. Can he keep it grippy round the outside with the harder tyre compound? There's nothing to separate them. The Aston and the Haas down the hill towards turn 4. They go at the hairpin. Literally nothing between them. The Haas gets the better exit around the outside. They go down towards turn 5 and 6. And the Haas just gets in front of the Aston Martin of Lewis W, who just backs out and slots back in behind him. Unbelievable racing by the pair of them. Brilliantly done by them, both of them. TTL Nick is now without DRS on the back of B Wright. CBI Henke in the McLaren. Still within DRS of Panda. Can he get close enough to make the move? We're about to find out. He got a great exit out of turn 15. Here comes the McLaren on the Red Bull. And is he going to go for it? No, he doesn't. He just backs out and slots back in behind him. Undertaker Dylan has now left the session. Here comes Lewis W once more on Super Turbo. The battling continues, but Lewis W has took the inside line this time on the Haas driver. Can Super Turbo switch it back? He'll have to wait for another lap for that one. And Lewis W is finally in front, and the two Aston Martins in P6 and P7. Just a little loose coming out of the corner there. And Fanfurness on the back of Niels Hendry. Henke still on the charge here. He's in a Red Bull sandwich as they go down in towards turn 11. And Super Turbo right on the tail of that Aston Martin. It's great racing at the start of this Grand Prix between the Haas and the Aston. DRS is now enabled. But look at Lewis, he is saving that battery, whereas in Super Tuber he's using quite a lot, and it's so difficult to rebuild it around here. Like, extremely. It could take you 10 laps to even try and get 50%. Henke on Panda. Is he going to go for the move? He is going to go for it this time, and Henke takes the lead of the Netherlands Grand Prix. Super Turbo will have that DRS on the Aston Martin. Goes left, goes right, and changes his mind. And will take the inside line on the Aston, and the Haas driver up to P7. Can Lewis bounce back from that overtake as they go down towards turn 4 at the left-handed hairpin? Sendro wants a piece of the action now. The McLaren driver trying to get involved. Fanfurness on Niels Hendrick. The AlphaTauri on the Mercedes is up to P12, but Niels Hendrick is going to try to do the old switcheroo as they go in towards turn 3 and then down towards 4. The Mercedes and the AlphaTauri wheel to wheel. The Mercedes cuts it short and returns back the favour. Gets a great exit, and that switchback was nearly beautiful. Royker Pens on TTL Nick, the other Mercedes, having a little bit of action with the other Aston Martin. Panda in the Red Bull, staying on the back of Henke and the McLaren. 30 laps of this, we've still got to go. Oh shit. Sorry. I muted my mic, I'm really sorry. Oh god. Oh, cheers Alvaro. Oh my god. Henke on the back of the Red Bull of Panda. Be right there as well. Sendro on Super Turbo. He will be getting frustrated because he's got the pace and now he's got the move done. And next in his sights is Lewis W in the Aston Martin. But the McLaren is up to P8. Can Super Turbo hang it round the outside? Here comes Dennis on Zetu. Zetu having a phenomenal race in P10 in the AlphaTauri. Hats off to him at the moment, the Finnish driver. Here comes Pera on the inside of Niels Hendrick, who just spun it in the last lap. The Alfa Romeo is all over the rear diffuser of that Mercedes. And Niels Hendrick is into the pit lane. And Pera just carries on with that DRS. Super Turbo still lunging on that McLaren behind. TTL Nick on the back of Royks. Both of these Dutch drivers. And I tell you what, Henke, to be hanging about with these Red Bull boys at the front, fair play to him. And Panda has overtaken Henke before They got the DRS again. Oh no, Henke stayed behind him last lap, didn't he? So here comes Henke once more with that DRS. Down towards turn 1 we go. And the McLaren driver of Henke just staying behind him. He's not going for it. This is tactical. This is a great strategy from Henke. The two Red Bulls of Panda and Henke, both from Norway, not even touching the DRS. There goes Senjo through and Lewis W in the Aston Martin, losing a position and down to P8 with the Papaya overtaking him. Royke Penn still on the back of that Ferrari and Max Bot, the man from Belgium. CPI Henke just sticking with Panda. B Wright has used a lot more ERS compared to the front two, who are just holding their own and battling away at the front. But Henke really strategic not to overtake that Red Bull down towards turn 1. Twice in a row he's done it now. We are on lap 10 of 36 and I cannot wait to see what the pit strategies do. With that DRS once again for Henke. B Wright is just watching on. If I was B Wright, I wouldn't even be touching that battery either at this point. Oh, he has to because he made a slight mistake coming out of turn 14. But I would just be using that DRS and staying with them. Max Mock has lost 4 seconds. Oh, here comes Henke, and once again he pulls off. And if I was B Wright, I would just be charging up my battery. Oh, his controller's done that thing again. We just caught it on board, and he's oh, Panda's lost it round the outside. Panda slid round the outside. Henke just lost the rears as well. Tees has gone through on Kim, who's off the track, and Merckx has gone through in the Williams. Panda has made an unusual, unlikely mistake. Dennis is into the pit lane in the Ferrari, getting them tyres changed off the hards and onto the mediums he goes. But the two Red Bulls are there, and we caught it on stream. B Wright's left analog stick locked up. He's been having problems with his controller, and we caught it on stream. It locked up and nearly took him out of this race. But yeah, if I was B Wright, with Henke not wanting to overtake Panda and keeps pulling off him, I would not even be touching my ERS yet. I'd just be using my DRS and letting Henke completely pull off Panda every lap. But will Panda now reverse that and start doing the same to the McLaren, who is now your race leader on lap 11? Kim De Boom is into the pit lane, the South Korean driver off the softs and onto the mediums. Henke, your race leader. Panda chasing him down in the Red Bull. Is he going to go for the move? He doesn't. He pulls off again. And B Wright just stays behind him. Here comes Royke. Royke Penn's in the Aston Martin, and the Mercedes is going to go for a move as well. TTL Nick round the inside of Maxi Block in the Ferrari. And the Ferrari of Maxi Block just stays in front. And that is the house driver of Kim just getting out of the way of this fantastic battle for P4. But Reutz is up into P4, Maxi in P5, but TTL Nick is like a dog with a bone. He is not giving up yet as they just touch wheels. And thankfully they come out unscathed. B Wright is really chasing down Panda now. But you look at this, here comes TTL Nick on Maxi Lock again. The Mercedes driver is through and up to P5. Maxi has lost the position. You look at Henke and Panda, both on 100% ERS compared to B Wright 28%. So just using it at completely different times. Maxi Block in the Ferrari will have to recover here. Will Panda go for the overtake on the McLaren? Here comes the Norwegian on the other Norwegian. Here in Zandvoort, down towards turn 1 they go, and Panda pulls back. He's doing a little trick that Henke was doing now. And B Wright is staying there. TTL Nick looking at the back of Royks in the Aston Martin. Maxi is there. Senjo is trying to catch up. Here comes Super Turbo on Lewis. These have been battling for the majority of this race so far. Merckx in the Williams on the back of the Alpine of TCS, who breaks. Oh, that looked like a big brake check there. And nearly caught the Williams of Merckx. Wow, Merckx had reactions like a cat there. Wow. I mean, I'm not claiming it was a brake check. I'm just saying that's what it looked like, and it was close. CPI Henke and Panda wheel to wheel. Here comes Panda. Oh, Panda's been overtaken by his teammate at B right now. The Red Bulls swap places going into the Audi S's at turn 12 and 13. Henke is still your leader, but it's now B right that is in P2. Are they swapping round for pit stops? Is that what they're doing? Is Panda about to go into the pits? And B Wright staying out, so they've swapped positions. No, they're not. They're giving B Wright an opportunity to go for the overtake on Henke. Here comes the Red Bull and the McLaren, but he pulls back now. Merckx on tyres. The Williams and the Alpine are wheel to wheel as they go down towards turn 6 and 7. The Alpine just staying in front. TTL Nick on Roix, the Mercedes driver on the Aston Martin, is now up to P4. Down the hill towards turn 4. And Super Turbo on Lewis. Merckx still looking for a move on the Alpine. He's going to have that DRS out of turn 11. DRS enabled. ERS is on, but he's got to be patient and wait for that pit straight. And that's exactly what he's going to be doing. And Merckx, Dennis is from pair of the Ferrari driver on the Alfa Romeo, but we're going to stay on board with the Williams for a second because Merckx looks like he might take P14 from the Alpine driver here. And Tees at his home Grand Prix is going to lose a position to the Williams, and Merckx is going to go through and take that P14 away from the Alpine. Only one DNF in this whole race so far down the inside, but the Alpine's just got so much straight line speed, and they're wheel to wheel again. Can Merckx hold it around the inside? And he does. It's so difficult around here. And B Wright still chasing down Henke. Panda on his tail. Roix on the back of TTL Nick. Not a single VSC, not a single safety car. Here comes Tyres and Merckx once more. Lewis and Super Turbo. They nearly touch. Tyres goes through. Lewis and Super Turbo, the Haas and the Aston Martin, and not for the first time this evening, are going wheel to wheel through sector 1. But it's Super Turbo that comes out just in front. But the switch back from Lewis and the Aston Martin, not getting it done this time. Merckx on Tyres. The Alpine and the Williams still squabbling. It's going on everywhere here on lap 15. We're nearly halfway through. And the Williams just getting in front. Pera, first driver into the pit lane. Lewis W on Super Turbo. Pera retires in the pits. That's both Alfa Romeos out of this Grand Prix. And that's a £20 million fine for the Alfa Romeo team for both cars DNFing. Merckx is going to be overtaken from Tyres, who goes down the inside. But Merckx got that speed around the outside. Maximock and Panda into the pit lane. So Panda is the first Red Bull to go in. Maxi in the Ferrari is now onto the hard compound tyre. And who else went in? Senjo in the McLaren, coming off on the mediums and onto the hards. So a lot of the drivers on the same strategy, but I tell you who isn't, and that is Lewis W, who's currently in P5 now, who's going to be going onto the medium tyre till the end of this race, but he's going to have to go a little bit longer on them hards. I tell you what, if he got to about lap 19 and a safety car came out for Lewis, it is a game-changing race for him. Tees on the back of Niels Hendrick, the Alpine on the back of the Mercedes. Does B Wright go for an overtake on Henke and the McLaren? Super Turbo on Lewis W. So Panda, Maximock and Senjo going for the undercut. And Panda will probably come out in front of Henke. In fact, I know he will with the undercut. Does Henke follow him in? That is a yellow flag. Where is the yellow flag? I cannot see anybody on track. Henke does go into the pit lane. B Wright stays out, so Henke is in, and he's following suit of the Red Bull. There is also an Alpine that's getting a front wing change. Henke is onto the hard compound tyre. The Mercedes of TTL Nick is in. Roix in the Aston Martin is into the pit lane as well. And on to the hards. The Mercedes is there. Where is Panda? There comes Henke. Here comes Panda. Panda has come out behind Henke. This is unbelievable. Panda appeared a lap earlier than the McLaren to go for the undercut, and he's not even managed it, and now Henke is on one lap pressure tyres. What a strategy from the McLaren driver, but now they've got to contend with the Haas of Super Turbo and the Aston Martin of Lewis in front of them. This is going to get tasty between all four of them because they're all involved in their own fights. Panda in the Red Bull around the outside of the Haas. In towards turn 11 they go. They go through on Super Turbo. And now in their sights is Lewis W, who's on his own strategy on them hard compound tyres. Lewis W trying to fend off the attack from Panda because he knows that he can't let Super Turbo through. Panda will get the DRS. B-Right is now into the pit lane and onto the hard compound tyres. Here comes Henke in the McLaren round turn 15. Lewis W is there. Panda in the Red Bull will make light work of this Aston Martin as they go down the pit straight. And Super Turbo is into the pits. So Lewis W, I think Lewis will just try and stick with these two in front for as long as possible and hopefully stay within DRS range on their old hard tyres. Dennis in P10, Fanfurness speeding into the pit lane. Oh, he will be fuming about that. And into the pits he goes for them hard tyres. And teases out in the pit lane, teases out in the pit lane. It's not been a good race from him. All 3 DNFs have been in the pits. B-Right is through on Lewis. Oh, pushes Lewis a little bit wide there in the Aston Martin. B-Right has been undercut by his teammate and Henke in the McLaren, but he's found himself out of DRS range of the front two. That is not what he would have wanted. Tyres has come back out the pit lane. I hope he doesn't cause any issues. Yeah, he's just moved off track, thank God. So here comes Panda, and this is for the lead of the Netherlands Grand Prix. And as these continue to swap places, Panda back into the lead of this Grand Prix. B-Right will continue to lose time. Lewis is into the pits now, so he's not waiting around. He knows he has to cover that attack from Super Turbo with the undercut. Henke in the McLaren in P2. The 2 Red Bulls in P1 and P3. Dennis up to P8 in the Scuderia. UFRL Merckx on the back of Kim, the South Korean driver. And Lewis and Super Turbo. Super Turbo did get through, so he pitted a lap earlier, but remember Lewis is on the faster tyre compound now. He's on the mediums. Fanfurness is through on his teammate, but Lewis needs to make light work of this Haas. So Henke still chasing down Panda, and the McLaren driver in P2 with the Red Bull leading this Grand Prix. Blue flags waving. That is detail Nick that is from Maximum, and the Ferrari and the Mercedes trade places on lap 20. 16 to go here in Zandvoort. Lewis on the back of Super Turbo. Can he move in front of the Haas driver who goes to the left and then to the right? And he's not making it easy here for the Aston Martin, who's on their medium tyres. And the Aston Martin goes round the outside, and for the 3rd or 4th time this evening, they're wheel to wheel, and they nearly collide. And Lewis just comes out in front of the Haas driver and into P9. Lewis W now needs to start to pull away on them fresher medium tyres. Henke coming out of turn 11 down towards the Audi S's at turn 12 and 13, still right on the rear diffuser of that Red Bull in front. Remember, B-Right has got 2 lap fresher tyres than his teammate and 1 lap fresher than Henke, and he needs to start catching up and get back within that DRS range of the front two, or he's going to find himself losing a lot of time, because look, Henke's got the DRS again. He's going to overtake Panda, and they're going to move away from B-Right for another lap. Here comes Henke, and he pulls off him. That's exactly what B-Right needs him to do, start pulling off him. So instead of the gap being 1.7, 1.8, it's now back down to 1.5 for B-Right. The opportunity is still there for him, as Maxi, Nick and Roix still fighting it out for big points here. Super Turbo on Lewis, not close enough. Lewis using a lot of that ERS to stay in front, and they do have a staggering stallion in front. This is also a fantastic battle between Nick, Maxi and Roix. The Mercedes, Ferrari, Aston. There's not been a single safety car. It's been a phenomenal race. 3 DNFs, all in the pit lane. It's been brilliant to watch. The Aston Martin will have that DRS. B-Right still not able to close the gap. Here comes Henke. And in towards turn 1 and stays behind him once more. Maxi Block on TTL. Nick will have to go the long way round. The Ferrari driver will have a little bit more grip. Can the Mercedes cover him off? And Maxi Block slots back in behind him. Lewis W on the back of Dennis now will get that DRS, and that will be able to help him from defending against Super Turbo. And Lewis W is up to P8 in the Aston Martin. Maxi Block in the Ferrari in P5. And Nick is doing a splendid job here. He's having a great race in that Mercedes. You know, anything can happen in this race. And the way I'm looking at it, Maxi Block will need some sort of VSC, because it looks like he's going to be low on fuel come the end of this race. He's the only driver that is slightly under fuel. Him, Kim, Fanfinus, and Maxi, yeah, and they're just overtaking the back marker that is Merckx, that is moving out of the way. If a safety car does come out and all the drivers pit, Merckx will have to stay out to unlap himself and then pit once all the cars in front of him is pitted. Otherwise he will find himself stuck behind these drivers. That's if a safety car comes out. It doesn't look like it's going to at this point, but Merckx is a very, very consistent driver, and he will try his very best to finish each and every race. Even if he is in P14, he's in a Williams. It's about finishing, it's about trying to get points and not causing the team you know, losses in their budget. And that's, he's just, if I'd have known the way Merckx was going to race him realistic, it'd have been one of my top signings for the start of the season. He's a brilliant driver and a very good guy to have around the team. This will be the Alpine team principal next season, though, as I'm stepping away from it, and I just don't think it's fair on the drivers, as there's just so much other things that my time is consumed by, especially with F7, and I just don't think it's fair on the drivers. So Henke coming out of turn 15 is half a second behind Panda. B-Right is starting to catch up a little bit, but he's missing out on DRS again. Here comes Maxi Block to take that P4 away from the Mercedes driver of TTL Nick. And the Belgium is through and up to P4. Finally gets the move done on the Mercedes, but can TTL Nick switch it back round? He's got a lot more battery than the Ferrari, and he knows the Ferrari is a little bit low on fuel. He'll need at least a VSC. And the Haas driver, who is that? Is that Kim that's round at turn 14? It is. There is a yellow flag, but that is it. He carries on. Very lucky nobody else. He's so close to being back within DRS range. Remember, he's got the freshest tyres of all the three drivers. So what a fantastic battle we are witnessing here between the Ferrari, Mercedes and Aston. B-Right is back within DRS range. Did he get it? Did he get it? He is back within DRS, but he didn't hit it at the activation zone. Oh, that is so frustrating for him. Here comes TTL Nick, weaving as he tries to hold off that Aston Martin behind. And he is back within DRS. B-Right, he just needs to stay there. He's just sort of going in and out. And Panda and Henke are now starting to use that battery. They're now starting to put their foot down with 11 laps to go. Dennis setting the fastest lap of this Grand Prix. Wow. That is a big point for Dennis. If he stays in the top 10, that fastest lap point. Look how close Royx is to TTL Nick in that Mercedes. And B-Right might have got the DRS. He has, he's finally done it. He's finally worked his way back within that DRS range. And fair play to him. But the other two are using that battery now, especially Panda. I think what Panda has been trying to do here is shake off that McLaren behind him, and he's used a lot of battery trying to do it and not been able to. And here comes down the inside is the Mercedes of TTL Nick, wheel to wheel goes the Ferrari and the Mercedes AMG Petronas. In towards turn 3 they go, down the hill towards turn 4. There's a little bit of contact as the Ferrari backs out. The Aston Martin of Roix might even look for a move now as the Scuderia just slots back in behind the AMG. Maxi got a little bit more speed out of that chicane. Ten laps to go. Oh, Roix there just holding on to that. Them rear wheels just slipping and sliding. Be right. Panda has been overtaken by Henke. Wow. What has happened to Panda? Be right is right on his tail. Look at this. What has happened to Panda? Panda has been overtaken by his teammate of Be Right. This is unbelievable. He's not got damage, but he looked extremely slow on the straight. And I think what they're trying to do here, this is beautiful, beautiful. Maxibot down the inside of the Mercedes of TTL Nick. I will talk you through it in a second in what I think they're actually doing. But Maxibot is back up into P4 and Nick chases him down in towards turn 4. Right, still there and thereabouts. And they're still continuing to move away from Senjo. So what I think they're doing here, this is amazing if it's the case. They're swapping positions. So Panda has been attacking Henke. And he's been going for the overtake. He's not managed to get it done. He's been getting Henke to use his battery and attack and attack and attack. And basically Panda said, right, I need to recharge. Be right, you now go ahead. I will stick to the back of you. And now you start attacking. You start going in front of him and making him overtake you whilst I build up my battery. And I think this is all tactical from Panda, but I might be completely wrong. Because he is falling off a little bit from Be Right. Be Right will now try and attack Henke in that McLaren. Remember, Be Right has 2 lap fresher tyres than the McLaren driver, and he just pulls off again. It's all very tactical here in Zandvoort. F1 recess. Panda's running out of fuel, I think. But his fuel gauge isn't flashing. Niels Hendrick in the Mercedes is through on Merckx down towards turn 1. And the Mercedes is into P13. Be Right is so close to the back of Henke. This has been a brilliant race. DRS is now enabled for Be Right. I think Be Right's going to take the lead of this Grand Prix. So Be Right with that DRS on the back of the McLaren, and this is for the lead of this Grand Prix. And this could be the first time this evening that the man from Bristol will lead here in Zandvoort, but not this lap. He's going to save it once more. Here comes TTL Nick on the Ferrari of Maximoff. He's got so much more battery that he's saving and saving, and it looks like it's going to be for a late charge as he goes out wide, and he slips and slides, and the Aston Martin just holds off. Could have tried to dive down the inside there, but Roix is a nice clean driver and he won't make any ridiculous moves with 7 laps to go when he's had such a cracking battle and is in for a good points finish in the Aston Martin. Look how close Be Right is. Let's just have a look at the tyres. Yeah, they are 1 lap fresher than Henke's and 2 lap fresher than Panda's. Here comes Roix on Nick. There's only been 1 penalty, and that was Fanfulness for speeding in the pit lane. There's not been a single DNF on track. All 3 of them have been in the pit lane. There's not been a single safety car or VSC. Dennis goes through on Super Turbo and up to P9, and that's another extra vital point for the Scuderia. And Lewis has really took off on their mediums. His strategy was timed to perfection. And Panda has lost a second. He will get that DRS, and B Wright is going to stay with the McLaren, and Panda is nearly outside of DRS. This is not like the Norwegian driver. Something definitely a little bit wrong here. TTL Nick has a little peek around the inside, thinks better of it this time. Super Turbo still trying to stay with that Ferrari. B Wright on the back of Henke. Oh yeah, Banana did the comms for the bronze race, didn't he? Yeah, yeah, he wasn't paying much attention. B Wright, this could be the lap. He goes for the overtake. 6 laps to go. I don't think safety car was on. What on in bronze? The DRS is now enabled for the Red Bull. He looks extremely close. This might be the lap where he goes for the move, and I think he's pulling off again. He is, and Panda is sticking within DRS. Oh, there's definitely safety car on in here. Yeah. Oh, that's car damage, wasn't it? Safety car reduced. Yeah. There's just been not many crashes. We had that one with Undertaker doing at the start, but that was it. B Wright. I believe that the Red Bull of B Wright could be in with a chance of winning this Grand Prix, because he's just staying on the back of Henke and he's just being patient, he's waiting, but Henke's got so much battery to try and defend with. Oh, Henke's ERS. Oh, Maxi Block's made a mistake! Maxi Block in the Ferrari is off the track! Oh, that is a huge, huge mistake by the Scuderia. And Maxi Block, with 5 laps to go, has made a massive mistake and is down to P6. That leaves Royker Benz on the verge of taking P4. But look at Nick, he's got 88% ERS. B Wright in the Red Bull, still not going for that overtake on Henke. He's doing a Henke special. We know that the Norwegian driver of CPI Henke in the McLaren always likes to wait until the very last lap. Here comes Royks on the back of TTL Nick. They've now got the Ferrari out of the equation. And the McLaren of Henke, who got pole position last week, could get the race win this week. This has been magnificent to watch. And here comes B Wright once more. Oh, look at this. There's an AlphaTauri in front of the McLaren. Oh, this is not good. And it's Zetu that is going to give DRS to Henke. No, he didn't get it. Henke did not get the DRS. Zetu is having to pull to the side. Blue flag's waving. And the sister car pulls away. Luckily, Henke did not get it, with 4 laps to go. Here comes Royks on the back of TTL Nick, who's just dabbling with that ERS. TTL Nick has got so much battery that he could probably hold on even with Royks using full DRS down the straight. B Wright, he will be able to feel this. He knows that he's in with a great shot, but the only thing that might hold him back is the fact that the McLaren has got so much battery. B Wright has got 1 lap fresher tyres. He's just got to be patient and hold on now. Maxi Bot is starting to catch up. So he made that big mistake, but it's not over for him yet. He's only 1.3 behind the Aston Martin with 4 laps to go. About to be free. Henke, look at this. Henke's just building up his battery. He is not using it at all. And B Wright just staying with him. Here comes Royks, and Maxi Block is nearly back within DRS range. Incredible from him. What a recovery. And Royks just holding on. These two have got a lot of battery, so it's going to be very special to see them go down towards turn 1 on lap 35. So who will win the Netherlands Grand Prix here in Zandvoort? Will it be Henke in the McLaren? Will it be B-Right in the Red Bull? We are just over 2 minutes away of finding out. Down towards the Audi S's at turn 12 and 13. It's the McLaren of Henke that leads to B-Right in P2, Panda in P3, TTL Nick in P4, Royks in P5. Maxi is now back within DRS range in P6, but that fuel gauge is flashing for him. So might end in tears. And B-Right moves on to lap 35, and now this is where the action needs to happen. Henke has an AlphaTauri in front of him. That is Pamphonus that is in front, and surely not. That AlphaTauri might gift this McLaren some ERS here. He's moving over to the side. Fair play to the AlphaTauri. Well done, Pamphonus. Really well done to Pamphonus there for getting out of the way of this amazing battle at the end of this Grand Prix. Here comes Roy Capens right on the back of the Mercedes as they come out of turn 4. B-Right knows this is his opportunity. In towards turn 10 and then down towards 11. The first of the 2 DRS stages here on lap 35. DRS enabled for the Red Bull driver. Panda is right there as well. B-Right knows he has to be a bit closer than this to the McLaren. Henke has started to use his battery already. He knows he's got to keep it now, and he just slips and slides out of turn 13 in towards turn 14 and 15. I don't know if the Red Bull has done enough. The battery is flat out for Henke. Here comes B-Right, but Henke has just done enough. He's held him off. He's used all of his battery to stay in front. And what a strategy. Now this is the other battle between Royks, Maxi and Nick. They're going to all use the battery. They're flat out here going on to the very last lap of this race, and it's Roy Capens who's not made an overtake for a very many laps. And here comes Royks around the outside in the Aston Martin, wheel to wheel with the Mercedes, switches back but is not able to make the move, and Nick just stays in front in P4. B-Right still tailing that McLaren, doing everything he can do to try and get this race lead on the very final lap. But Henke in the McLaren is just holding him off, doing everything he can do to stay in front. Roy Capens right on the rear diffuser of the Mercedes of TTL Nick. We are on lap 36 of 36 here in Zandvoort, and Royk is still trying to get past that Mercedes. He's also running low on fuel. It looks like Royks, Nick and Maxi are going to run out. B-Right looks like he's flashing. Every single driver is flashing apart from Panda. Panda is not flashing. Surely he can't get him to the line. Surely he can't get him to the line. Here comes Panda. B-Right and Henke are running low on fuel. Panda's going to move through and get his teammate. Panda is up to P2. Royks, Nick, Maxi. Maxi has run out of fuel. Sendra is chasing him down. He's also low on fuel. TTL Nick is going to come through. Roy Capens in the Aston Martin will follow him through in P5. But Maxi Block has really run out of fuel, but he's just trembled to the line. Lewis W also low on fuel as Dennis comes through, and up to P8 goes the Scuderia. All the drivers were expecting some sort of safety car, but they didn't get it, and all the drivers struggling with their fuel load. But it is going to be Dennis that will come through in P8, and Lewis W in the Aston will trail him through in P9. Super Turbo in the Haas is going to get points here in Zandvoort. That is Kim into the wall on the very last lap, but Super Turbo is going to come through to take a point, and Merckx in the Williams on the very final lap takes the fastest lap, and that is some big money in the bank for the Williams team. What a race. What a race. So it was tactical between the Red Bulls. They switched it, and if he couldn't get him, they were going to switch it back. Fair play to them. There you have it, the McLaren on the top step of Henke. What a race. The two Norwegians in P1 and P2, and a great display of sportsmanship between the Red Bulls to switch it back before the line. I like that. I've got to clip that between the Red Bulls. I like that. How he's let him through to try and attack, and then he couldn't get him, and he's let him back through before the line. Beautiful, that. So Henke is your race leader here in the Netherlands. He wins in the McLaren. Panda in the Red Bull takes P2, and B Wright in the other Red Bull starts in P3 and ends in P3. TTL Nick in the Mercedes takes P4. Roy Capens in the Aston Martin takes P5. Max in the Ferrari in P6. Sendra in the McLaren in P7. Dennis in the Ferrari in P8. Lewis W in the Aston Martin in P9. And Subatubo in the Haas in P10. I'm just going to screenshot the rest of the grid when I get a second. Merckx with the fastest lap is fantastic as well. I'm pretty sure that's 10 million in the bank for the Williams team. Save recent gameplay for video. I'll do some quick interviews, guys, because we've been live for over 2 hours. So we'll jump into some quick interviews. Henke's got an invite as well. But we'll jump straight into it. Your P3 driver, B Wright, how are you, mate?
Hello, Nathan. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. What a race. That must have been so enjoyable.
Yeah, it was fun. I had the controller moments a couple of times, but managed to recover from it. And I think Panda realised that as well, so he just tried to slow down Henke at times so I could then catch back up again. But then in those final laps, I didn't really have it again, and that's how it
was great
unfolded.
Teamwork between the Red Bulls, Ben. I was just saying at the end of the race then, I didn't know. Obviously, we've seen that Panda gave you the position, but great sportsmanship to give it him back before the line. Yeah,
of course. He I could see what he was doing. I think we were all low on fuel, so it was all sort of just we had to keep lifting, coasting.
Yeah.
It was a shame because I know what he was trying to do. He just messaged me to say, I'm going to get a time penalty, so it's going to be yours anyway, the P2. But for him to give me this opportunity to go for a win, it's such a track.
Yeah.
He knows what this place means to me, and I just couldn't quite get it today. I think me and Henke were both low on fuel, so I'm a bit upset if the truth is known.
Yeah, no, I can imagine, and it was so close as well because you had so many great opportunities, even recovering after the pit stops to get back within DRS range as well. And but Henke was just saving up so much battery at the end of that race. He knew you were going to attack him.
Yeah, he knew I was coming on those final laps. I wish I probably should have went for it a bit sooner. Yeah. But it's Henke, he's such a talented young driver. He knows every piece of the puzzle with this game, and for me to constantly keeping up with him, even with him in a McLaren, is something special as well. So no, big congrats to Henke. Still searching that first race win this season. I'm very surprised I'm saying that, really, but with having such a teammate like Panda, the competition is incredibly tough. So that's why I've become that. Yeah, that's why I become that number 2 driver and do everything I can for Panda. I've had it in the past with previous teammates where they've done everything for me, for them, for the team, and it's only sportsmanship and shows who I really am deep down and shows who I can be as a teammate as well. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, Ben. I completely agree with you, mate. It was a great race to watch. Great sportsmanship between the Red Bulls and a fantastic drive from yourself. So well done on the podium, Ben.
Cheers, Nathan. Thanks, mate. And well done to Henke and obviously Panda as well. And just a quick shout out to Micah and her mum because I know they're watching today on such a track. So yeah, I'm a bit gutted. But sorry, guys.
P2, well done, mate.
Cheers, mate.
We move on to your race winner. It is Henke in the McLaren. How are you, mate?
Oh, absolutely amazing.
What a drive, what a race. Great defensive battling as well. You were racing with one Red Bull, then the other Red Bull. Just talk us through how that was.
Yeah, I was quite surprised in the start of the race when I saw that my pace was matching both of the Red Bulls, and just that in itself to be able to fight with them is amazing. So I knew from pretty early on I could fight for this win, and so I just tried to control my whole race, just save my ERS, just copy their strat to be honest, because I just wanted to stay in the DRS train the whole time. And then, yeah, on accident, at the start of the race, I actually took one extra lap of fuel than I was planning to, and that helped me out because I didn't have any problem with the fuel. So
Oh wow! Imagine if you hadn't have put the one extra lap.
yeah, that definitely saved me. So I was just saving ERS for the final laps, and yeah, I definitely had more than the other two guys. So
yeah, we've seen you
really
saving
that hard to
that.
defend.
Yeah, we've seen you saving that ERS, Henke, right in the last lap. You'd built it up to around 70%, and even with that Red Bull attacking with that DRS, it was just such a good strategy. Obviously, as well, when you first pitted, you pitted a lap after Panda, but still came out in front of him, and you were defending. You were right in the middle of that battle between Lewis and Super Turbo in the Haas and the Aston Martin. That must have been exciting, but also nerve-wracking at the same time as well.
Yeah, I was definitely afraid when I saw that Panda pitted because I thought he would like gain over a second when I pitted. So yeah,
So to come out in
definitely
front of
a
him,
relief
yeah.
when I saw that I got out in front, and I just knew I had to clear the two other guys as fast as possible.
Absolutely. It was phenomenal to watch, mate. It was a great drive. Really enjoyable. Started on P2, took the race win. Congratulations, Henke. That was fantastic.
Thank you so much, Nathan.
Cheers, mate. There you have it, guys. That was Henke, your race winner. Be right. He's in P3, but yeah, the penalty in qualifying is probably going to see him promoted up to P2, unfortunately for his teammate. But a really, really enjoyable race to watch tonight. Not a single DNF on track, not a single yellow flag for a VSC or safety car. Just unbelievable racing from start to finish. So many cracking side-by-side battles. Everybody was super respectful. It was so nice to see the drivers just racing so cleanly. And that is what F7 is all about. That's what F1 Esports is all about. How three drivers from across the world in completely different cars, in completely different scenarios, can go wheel to wheel through four corners at the start of the Netherlands Grand Prix. It is phenomenal. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, guys. We will be back on Sunday for the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix at 10 a.m, 12:30 p.m, and 7 p.m. That's bronze, silver, and gold. We'll be back with the Spain sprint race in Fantasy on Monday, and then next Wednesday we have not got a race, but we've got our F7 TTL event race on Wednesday and Friday next week, and then the following Friday we will be back for the Baku Grand Prix in Realistic, so make sure you tune in. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much it means to us when you support Formula 7 racing and help us out and join us on this journey. It's been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you join us on our raid to go and view another league. I think we're going to go on UFRL, and it's just to show our support for other leagues doing exactly the same thing, and also to show that F7 is also, you know, that sort of league, that's that friendly place to be as well. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, guys. Make sure you tune in on Sunday, and have a good weekend.
Thank you. Well done, mate.
Yeah, thanks. Was
No
a good
problem.
one.
Yeah, well done, boys. Good racing. That really good racing.
Was you low on fuel as well?
No, definitely
No.
not.
Oh, how come you didn't just leave me then? Surely you must have known I was lifting cursive.
I wouldn't like take that chance because if I used all my ERS and didn't get away, that would just be a waste.
That's true. You would have got away from me then, mate. You know your ability.
We're both you and Panda low fuel.
Both what, sorry?